The old Ibrahim Pasha Palace of the 16th century is today's Islamic Fine Arts Museum with some of the world's best kept 16th century Uşak carpets. The bird design on the left, as well as the medallion design and the prayers niche design, are some of those most valuable carpets we have in this section. Especially the red is out of madder root and blue is out of the indigo plant. These are some Selçuk carpets dating back to 1221, so they're almost coming to be 800 years old very soon. They're from Konya, the Alaaddin Keykubat Mosque and Mausoleum being kept in this museum with the beautiful Kufic borderline from the Arabic script. The Lorenzo Lotto design of the 16th century on this old Uşak is the result of the painter's work, Lorenzo Lotto, the Italian painter, as well as Hans Holbein, the German one, all very famous of the 16th century painters. The first Turkish carpet ever made in central Anatolia, coming from Asia Minor, 2300 years old, this Pazarik carpet with the hunting design, a brand new example with hunters and geometric designs, is how the art of Turkish carpet making has come to our times. Girls using these looms in the way they make their carpets. They also make kilims. Kilims are woven, while rugs are knotted. That is the easiest differentiation between those with the pile and those without the pile. A pure silk carpet, which this lady is tying with 1451 double knots to the square inch fineness from Hereke. And when each line is finished, the lady will beat it down with the iron comb, and then she will be ready to trim the excess pile when each line is finished. And that is how a small pure silk carpet will be finished, which will take approximately a year and a half to finish. And that is a hereke, the finest pure silk rugs in the world with the central medallion. One must be born talented in order to be able to make these rugs in this style, and that is the excess material. In the vicinity we have beautiful peach trees blooming, while the lady is getting ready to show us how the pure silk fiber is obtained from the natural cocoons, using a very interesting sponge, boiling water, and she works real fast, getting all the fibers out of these cocoons, and she will soon be tying it to the nearest machine, which will be pulling these fibers out one after the other to show us how the pure silk fiber is obtained. Imagine when you pull out the fibers of one cocoon in the good quality, you will have 1 mile long filament. And those are the dancing cocoons in the hot boiling water. Along this roadside where this truck is carrying Turkish-made Renault cars, this town is also making carpets. It is not ideal to buy carpets off the road unless you're an expert. This is the group where the Hacıbeder rugs are made. Country Turkey is where Asia meets Europe. Only 3% to the top left corner is in Europe, and 97% is on Asia Minor. And it's about 301,000 square miles of land, and it's just about the size of the state of Texas, to give you an idea. The city of Istanbul, where I come from, is very historic. We have two ancient caves just outside the city. And according to the DNA tested findings, they're about 400,000 years old. That's quite a bit of history. Now from Turkey, we pass on to President Clinton's visit to the town of Hereke, where the finest drugs in the world come from, H-E-R-E-K-E, Hereke, because the town was rather devastated after a very bad earthquake in 1999. And along with his family members, he was given this present of a pure cocoon silk carpet from Hereke. During that devastated moment, they're in high spirits, as you can see. In the White House Vermely room, there is a 19th century Hereke carpet. Hereke has always been the Rolls-Royce of Turkish carpet making. So what we have on the floor is from the end of the 19th century. The finest Hereke rug made in the world is actually the one that was sold in 1970. It's in a private collection in Switzerland now. And it's this particular 3x5, 15 square feet size, pure silk Hereke rug with 4,360 double nuts in a square inch. And that is your square inch. And that is the world's record holder in Switzerland. Counting knots on Hereke carpets is what this is all about. That's just the reverse side. I have the book in the window around the corner if you want to see the original book where this information comes from, and Hereke designs are rather world famous. Another one with this tree of life, birds of paradise, prayers niche design, most typically Turkish, from Kayseri. The largest Hereke rug ever made in the world is the one in the Yıldız Palace in Istanbul from the 19th century. This carpet is 5,000 square feet in size, one carpet, and that's just a little larger than the Java cafe we're in, as per size. And that is the palace where it's being kept right now. That's the picture of the oldest carpet ever made in the world, ever found. It's about 2,300 years old. It's the Pazarik carpet, and it's now in the Hermitage Museum in Leningrad, in Russia. This döşeme altı carpet that I have here for you with the triple crosses, which I will show you an example of it very soon. And then the Kazakh Caucasian nomadic group of our rugs, as well as the Yahyalı, which you are seeing two examples of in the form of a twin carpet, the Yahyalı rugs. And a lot of these European painters have used Turkish carpets in the 16th, 17th centuries as part of their decor. And the Investor's Guide from the Fortune magazine tells us that a Cadillac is a collectible. If it's 1954 in mint condition, it was worth $75,000 in 1989. Whereas brand new as it was in 54, it was $5,700 US. So things go up in price if you know how to store them. And that applies for this beautiful Domenichino's art, Rebuke of Adam and Eve, New York Gallery, $3.5 million. Richard, the art manager, has beautiful art on board for you, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. And that Petrus wine, a case of Petrus wine is about $5,400 if it is 1970 vintage. But if it is 1961 vintage, it's 3 times the price. And that's exactly the same story with the carpets. Carpets are just like vintage wine. They will appreciate in value if you know how to take good care of them. And eventually, of course, a Turkish carpet over 100 years old is definitely over $12,000 according to this collectible that you are looking at right now. Now I would like to continue with the story of the rugs on the floor and show you now some particular detail. The first thing I start with is this twin carpet on the floor. And the twin carpet is made by the same young girl using the same glue. One after the other, she has finished it. And they have not yet cut it in the center. Because once they will cut it, this is what it will look like. See, this one is separate. And so is this one from the same village in central Turkey, which is called Cappadocia, from the land of the fairy chimneys. And in the border of this carpet, you're looking at the village homes. I don't know if you've ever been in that part of Turkey. It's very picturesque. Early Christians lived in the underground cities in order to stay alive. And they have underground cities where you can walk in today, where 30,000 people lived as early as the 2nd and the 3rd centuries AD. The Cappadocian fathers, like Saint Basil, is from this very area. And it's Christmas time, so this is really bringing you early Christianity. From the town of Ürgüp, we see the fairy chimney houses around, with the central medallion in a different format. This format here is very much like a dowry box, where the girls keep their dowries before getting married. And of course, these are dyed with natural colors, such as the red here is out of madder root, and blue is out of the indigo plant. And that's the only difference between those two and these two. These are separate, but the two twin pieces are part of my own family heirloom, so they're not for sale. That's just to show you that this is how it is. Even though made by the same glue, they can never be identical, and that's what makes a handmade carpet a collectible, because each one is unique and cannot ever be duplicated, like you can duplicate the machine-made rugs. Within minutes, if you want to do that, ladies and gentlemen, machines can do just that. I have these two identical machine-made rugs, one after the other, right here for you. Every inch is identical, whereas it never is with an Oriental handmade carpet. That's why if you ever run into a store where they will tell you they have the same carpet you bought from somewhere else at half the price, it just ain't possible. Because they're all one of a kind, and it can never be the same identical carpet that you're talking about. Another thing that's very important with these handmade versus machine-made rugs is that the fact that these are knotted, and when they are knotted, they're called carpets. You've seen the girls make them, and here is how you can break into the pile of a carpet horizontally and vertically for a second fold, and then the knots are popping right out. You hang on to any one of these handmade rugs from that one double knot, and it will carry the carpet with all its strength, and you can never pull them out. See, if you pull them out, they'll get tighter, and tighter they get, longer they will last. However, with the machine-made ones, the story is quite different. You break into the pile, as they use a certain kind of glue. After a while, the glue loses its effect, and the fibers begin to come out. That's why a machine-made one would probably last you about 20 years. There's nothing wrong with them. They're cheaper than handmade rugs, but these will last you over 100 years if you buy the right stuff. So that is the difference between the hand and the machine-made carpets. Now after that, I'd like to pass into some interesting examples I have for you on the floor. And For example, let's go with this one, which is from the Turkish Mediterranean town of Antalya Döşemealtı, with the triple cross design. I have to tell you something. That's where Saint Nick lived, in Demre Mayra, and that's not too far away from Antalya. That's why the village people still respect to his heritage by using the triple cross design in the center of a predominantly Muslim country, which is Turkey. But use that in the center, showing the cross design. It also symbolizes Star of David on the outer border, and the 5 little dots here, showing you the 5 commandments of the Muslims. So I think on one carpet, that's what the world needs. How to learn to live together in peace. And Turkey has managed that in the last 500 years. Since the Sephardic Jews were asked to leave Spain in 1492, they were brought to Istanbul along with the other Muslims, and that's where they have been living ever since. Now these designs are particular, like these are the 2 double-backed camels, because they have used, and still in some areas, use camels for transportation. That's nomadic life, by the way. And if you go by the Taurus Mountains there, you see the nomads living in their own tents, making these carpets. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall continue with something a little different. And that, I should say, is a kilim. A kilim is woven. I have several examples of these kilims. They're priced at $180, half price on board, so $90 for this size. And that is woven. When they are woven, I want you to feel the difference. There is no knots on it. So when they don't have the knots, they're identical on both sides. Alright? Feel the difference, please. But when you touch the carpets like you have just seen it, we have knots, and rugs are knotted, while kilims like this one, they are woven. Please pass this around, thank you very much. Something that is unusual, combining the technique of a kilim and a carpet together, such as this very unusual piece that I have here. I have the most unique collection on board any ship in the world, ladies and gentlemen, with 172 of these carpets. And then that's a kilim made with the technique of a carpet. Here is more of this nomadic beauty, a Turkmen carpet for you, coming to you with natural dyes from the Turkmen tribe, and a very small one of this larger one with the 2 crosses in the center. And the price of this one is only $375 to go after the discount. So they come at half prices. And speaking about the American Navajo carpets, they have apparently originated from Central Asia along with the same Turks who migrated to the west and made this Milas rugs. The Milas beauty with pastel colors. And the river meander, you have a saying in English, you say the river is meandering. River meander is from West Turkey. Okay? St. Paul is from Tarsus. Lots of those biblical stories happened in Turkey. And so basically that is very similar to the Navajo design carpet. A very modern one, unlike the traditional carpets I have here for you, is this particular beauty. A very beautiful piece. And another one of my very favorites is this one, where you have the red out of madder root again. And in case, if you wish to have a complementary runner to it, and if you wish to roll out the red carpet, when your friends come home, that's what you need, right? And if you wish to extend them, the Navajo-looking treatment, this is the runner to complement. And then, if you wish to give them the royal treatment from Hereke, this is wool on cotton versus the all wool one so far. This is what you can do with the flowers of the 7 hills from Istanbul. And my ladies and gentlemen, the extravaganza continues with something different. This one in the red central medallion from Kayseri, and a beautiful carpet, and the smaller one of it, made with the same technique, is this particular piece with the tree of life, birds of paradise, prayers in each design. This particular Kayseri is $1,150 to go. What do you think the material combination of this carpet is? Feel this, please. Give me an idea. It's different than anything you've seen so far. Anyone say silk? Well, if you say silk, you are only right because you're customers. Customers always right. But if you said cotton backing, like our gentleman right here, and that's what that is. But that is mercerized cotton. When you mercerize cotton, it will give you the sheen of silk. But the fringe, as you notice, is cotton. And it will have the same change of color, can you notice that, when I flip the carpet around. And this will give you the same change of color also, the red beauty, when I flip this one around as well. Did you notice that? Well, ladies and gentlemen, when President Bush and Prime Minister Blair came to Istanbul for the NATO summit last year, they had this big conference in the Çırağan Palace Kempinski Hotel, where the special group of the Ottoman group of rugs was introduced. This is a very new production, repeating some of our museum quality carpets, right? And this beauty is the Ottoman group of rugs, a very, very special group, and a little bit more expensive group, I have to tell you. Once I find the exact tag price on this one is $5,600, half price $2,800 to go. And that is the Ottoman group of our carpets. Now, of course, we have other pieces here for you. In the wool on cotton group of our rugs, like this particular one, right? About a little larger than 3 by 5. One of my very favorite pistachio green color is this particular one here, which I really love. And then for those of you who are looking for that round carpet, which is very hard to get, I have two. The one in beige, and basically the one almost black with navy mixed. Now these so far have been all wool, wool on cotton, mercerized cotton, but here's a different combination for you, which is where, like this beautiful peacock that I have here for you, the peacock and all the chickens in a country home is what this beautiful piece is all about. Now that is a mixture of the silk with the wool. The shinier portions here are all silk, such as this beautiful piece right here, giving you another beautiful scenery from nature. And another one to remind you the inside of a mosque, a prayers niche carpet is what this is all about, and that would be the side to put in the direction of Mecca for Muslims to pray. And that is also wool on cotton, a very beautiful carpet. Now, carpets can be small, carpets can be large. One thing is important, counting knots. One can go nuts counting 4,360 knots. That's one way of telling the price of a carpet. So here I have a wool on cotton dining room size, 7 by 10, and it's taken about 11 months to make. From the town of Kayseri, this beautiful pastel carpet will cost you $1,900 shipped after the reduction. Now you buy a Karastan in North America, it's in this size, the same price, machine made. So that is definitely a good buy. But I have a large one later that I will show you very soon with a difference in the price tag. And now I want to show you some of my silk carpets for you, my ladies and gentlemen. And I would like you to really concentrate. These come to you with over 500 to 1,000 double knots to a square inch, approximately. Any one of these that I have here for you. Feel the pure silks that I'm showing you right now, please. That's the only way to understand pure silk. And I will give you a little secret now. Start to take your shoes off, because I'm going to make you walk on this large pure silk carpet, so you get the feeling of what it's like to walk on a pure silk carpet. It's therapy, all right? You won't believe how your feet feel compared with your hands. When you touch it by hand, it's a different story. One of my favorites again, the Four Seasons, and in the very center you have the girl actually making the carpet. Very unusual design. I've never seen it anywhere else. In the last 33 years, one like that is fantastic. And here are some of the very final examples in the pure silk group of our rugs, everyone. So you can feel them and enjoy them. And now I have a round group here, coming in 3 different colors. These are about $2,300 to go, any one of these round ones in red, Florida blue as we call it, as well as this beige beauty. Right? It takes about 2 years to make one of these round ones. Who would work in the West for 2 years for $2,300 is not the question. The question is, you have to go to places like these countries where rugs come from, where labor is affordable. Here are your 2 oval ones that you can enjoy. And then I have here another beautiful Four Seasons for you right here. 100% pure cocoon silk. And also the last 5 examples in the pure silk, because when this show is over in the next few minutes, as you see, the floor is already over carpeted. So you can walk around and feel them and see if you would like any one of these to take home with you. And a very unusual one, this is the Garden of Paradise. Garden of Paradise carpet with the trees of paradise. A very beautiful example. And again, because it's Christmas time, I have here Jesus Christ. You probably haven't seen one so far in all these years. It's very hard to find. St. Paul from Tarsus in Turkey. and Mother Virgin Mary is with me on this cruise. And then the last two pure silk ones that I have here for you is this one with the central medallion, and another paradise garden is this particular example right here. My ladies and gentlemen, at the end of our show, I want to share with you the pure silk finesse that took exactly 6 years to make. Why this carpet is extraordinary is not because, after all the reduction, the shipped home price is $25,000 and it took 6 years to make it, but it's a square carpet. And to come so close on a real square is impossible. Because handmade rugs, as I told you earlier on, are unique and cannot be duplicated. And yet, God is perfect and we're not. And so, that reflects on this carpet. One side of the square is 2 meters 45 centimeters long. The other one is about 2 meters 46. 1 centimeter difference. 6 years of labor. Central medallion and the square. In the last 33 years of my career in carpets, I've never seen one like this. So here it is on this first time ever into the Caribbean for you to see. Those of you with your shoes off, please come right on this carpet. I want you to feel the pure silk finesse. Because, please ma'am, otherwise you will never understand what I'm talking about. If you sit there and you felt these pure silk, that's how your hand feels. But if you come home and if you walk on a pure silk carpet, this is what it's going to feel like. And you don't know what I'm talking about unless you have bare feet and feel this finesse. Life is all about change. When we change things around us, we feel different. Change is therapy, everyone. And this is the therapy you're going through right now. Feel this. 6 years of labor. Did you enjoy our show? Thank you very much. I'd like to thank you for your wonderful audience in closing today's session. I'll be now rolling these away one by one slowly, and you're welcome to stay and ask me more about these carpets, and I will give you more details and price them for you. But please remember one thing, each is unique, and if you happen to like any one of these, it would be better for you to buy them today rather than at the end of the week. For one reason, the one you like may be bought by somebody else, and unfortunately I don't have a second one to it. Thank you for your wonderful audience.